Hey guys, in today's video, we're checking out the app Stage Traxx 3. This is an amazing app that I have been using for my live performances. This app can do so many things and it's been extremely helpful for my live shows. It can do things like controlling backing tracks, organizing playlists in different ways, lyrics, auto-scrolling, transposing chords, auto-scroll while highlighting lyrics, MIDI, both sending and receiving, multi-track outputs for backing tracks, so bass, drums, guitar, and synth all on separate outputs, for example. You can loop sections of a song and rearrange the structure of a song with backing tracks, so you can repeat the chorus twice at the end if you feel like it, or play the guitar solo 8 bars instead of 4. You don't have to stick to your exact backing track structure. You can host a session so all your bandmates can see what's on your screen, so you know what song is coming next and what the set list is. And it can do so much more stuff, even more than that. This app has helped me out a lot with my performances for me and my bands, and I think it's something that you guys could be interested in. So this app can do so much stuff that I ended up shooting about 2 hours of footage of different things that this app can do. I trimmed it down to just under an hour to give you this important stuff that I think, but that's still a lot of stuff to go over, so I'm breaking this video down into 3 different sections. So there's going to be 3 different parts. So this is part 1, and we're going to go over setup, creating standard backing tracks, playlists, lyrics, auto-scrolling, highlighting lyrics as you auto-scroll, how to transpose, importing PDFs, and then general organization and setup. In part 2, we're going to go over the multi-track outputs for backing tracks, as well as how to loop different audio regions. It's really, really cool, and that's definitely a plus because one of the downsides of backing tracks is that you have to stick with your structure. Not anymore with this app. And part 3 is going to be all about MIDI, so both sending and receiving MIDI. So you can send MIDI to your devices, so if you want your distortion to kick on during the chorus, Stage Traxx 3 can do that, so you never have to pedal dance. And I'll also show you how to control Stage Traxx 3 with like a MIDI foot controller and stuff like that. Part 2 and part 3 will be out next week. If you are watching this sometime in the future, they will be down in the description down below, and they will be a pinned comment as well, linking you to the videos. I'm also going to be doing a giveaway to one of my subscribers. So one of my subscribers will send you an iTunes store code so that you can unlock the full version of this app. There is a free version, and then there is a full version that unlocks everything. Definitely worth it to get the full version. So be sure to subscribe because my giveaway is only for subscribers, and I try to do as many giveaways as I can on this channel. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future and possibly win more free stuff. Also, one final thing before we get started. I know this intro is long, but one thing I want to get over because I know I'm going to get asked in the comments. Just like the majority of most music production apps, this is only for iOS, so iPad, iPhone, which is cool. You can use this on your iPhone as well, and they even have a Mac desktop version as well. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. There is quite a bit of stuff that we're going to go over even in this first video, so use the timestamps down below if there's a specific topic you want to find out. But let's get started. Okay, so first of all, you're going to load up the app, and I do want you to just notice, first of all, how many songs I have in here. I have so many tracks in here. I really do love this app. It really is a great app, and I have been using it a lot lately. Let's set the screen this way just so it's easier to see. Okay, so first of all, you're going to have nothing in here. I have all of these, but in order to add a song, so you have your buttons down here at the bottom. Let's go ahead and go to Songs, hit the plus symbol. So if you're not using backing tracks, you can click lyrics only. However, if you are using backing tracks, which I will be, you can either import it from the iTunes library, which is awesome. So you can just go in here and you can just go ahead and go in here and choose one of the songs that you have, or you can do the local and cloud files, which is what I have put on here. So, you go into your files and you can find it there. If you don't know how to put these tracks onto your files, you can either drag them in using your Finder. So you click, your iPad, go to Files, and then click Stage Traxx 3 and drop in the file that you need, or you can airdrop it to yourself as well, but I've dropped it in already. So I'm just going to search for it. So December Scott Solo, this is the track I'm going to do, and it's importing the song. And you can see that it's in there now. FYI, this last one to create a multi-track song will be what I go over in the next more advanced video. So I'm going to click this little I button next to the song that I want to edit. And here's where you can change some of the things around. So I can change the name of it. I'm going to get rid of this MP3 right here. I can put the artist name if I would like. I actually just put this as Scott Solo. I know that Collective Soul actually did it, but just for organizing, it makes it a lot easier. The BPM, you actually should do that if you are going to use audio regions. I'll get to that in the second video as well, but you can put that in here if you want. I know the song is 122, so I'll actually do that. A couple other things in here. The lyrics and the PDF is what I'm going to get to here in a little bit. The edit audio regions I'm going to get to in the second video. Keywords, you can give it keywords just for finding it easier. I could say Scott Solo, so this is the song that I do solo. I'm going to do another one, 90s, so I can find songs easier if you would like. You can color coordinate it, so you can see when I go back here, I have songs that I sing with a band in green, but then I have ones that I do solo, just when I do a solo set, in this orangish yellow color. So I'm going to set this one to that orangish yellow color. You can play the file and listen to it there. You can say when you want the song to start or where you want the song to end. So that can actually be really nice if you have like a massive just ending of blank sound. So you could trim that off right here. So you could say, you know, I'm going to cut the song off at 4:30. So that is really nice. You can fade in and fade out the song if you want. I personally don't use that. Volume and pan adjustments. You can change the pitch and the speed of the song, which is really cool. So listen to this. Slow it down. Pretty cool. So, you know, if I'm having an off night and I need to pitch it down a whole step, I can do that. You have this apply the pitch to chords. I'll get to that in a little bit. You have an equalizer as well, and this MIDI stuff I'll get to in the second video. But that's just like kind of the general setup that you want to do. Okay, so the method that I use personally is I like to import a PDF. So this is the same thing. I've dragged and dropped it to my iPad, and I have my chart in here. So I'm going to add that in here. This is the way I like to do my charts. I like to, you know, get specific with it. So you have that as an option if you just want to load a PDF file. That is the method that I use. And then you can, you know, draw and stuff on here. So whatever I need, or if you need to circle something, or if I need it to be thicker, you can do that. You can erase as well. I can circle and I can hit clear up here at the top if I would like. You can also add lyrics in here. So let's get the lyrics. So I've copied the lyrics and I'm going to paste them in here and hit save. So again, you can store lyrics or you can store PDFs. And again, I'm going over just the basics here. It does way more than this. I'm just showing you the general setup. Now that I have this set up, I'm going to hit done. And you can see when I go down to the song and select it, you can see that it has my PDF in here. So it'll default to PDF if you have put a PDF in there. However, if I go in there, and this is actually nice, is here on the side, you can push this button and load up this menu on the side. So I can hit this I button right here. Let's say I'm going to remove that PDF. And now it just has the lyrics right here, which is what I'm going to show you just to start, because there's way more stuff that you can do here. You want to repeat this process for as many songs as you're going to be using. So now that you have that song down saved, let's go ahead and make some playlists. These are some of the playlists that I have with my 90s band. I have 90s with Bobby. Bobby's our fill-in drummer, so these are all the songs that he knows, so I know what songs we can play. These are the songs that I do in a solo set. Definitely really convenient. To make a playlist, you just push this plus button up here and call it whatever. So I'm going to call this YouTube. Click it. Down here at the bottom, you hit plus and you start adding songs. So I'm just going to put a bunch of them in here and hit done. And now those are in here. It's pretty intuitive. So if I want to move, you know, About Damn Time up, you just click and drag. Achy Breaky Heart. Yes, we play Achy Breaky Heart in my band. Move it around into whatever order you would like. I'm going to go down to settings down here and I'm going to go to lyrics and PDF. And the thing that I like to have on is show lyrics or PDF on play. So now that that's on, I'm going to go back to my playlist. I just basically choose where I want it to start, and you can see which one comes first and which one comes next. So as soon as I click play, 24 karat, the lyrics will come up. That's something that I like to do. And the thing that's great about this, so this is the main screen that I see. And the thing that I love about this is I can, you know, collapse this down and have the lyrics be full, or I can see, you know, what's coming up next over here. So even if this is closed, I can see up here, it says 24 Karat Magic, and then the next song is going to be Achy Breaky up here, which is really nice. I can see the waveform up here as we're scrolling through it. You don't get this sidebar if you use it on an iPhone. That's only for iPad. But I do really like staying in this mode while I'm, you know, performing. And the thing that's great about this is, so I can say, you know, if everything is stop, I can say I want to start on Africa, or I want to start on 500 Miles or whatever. However, if the song is playing and I want to skip Achy Breaky, I can set 500 Miles to be next, or About Damn Time, or Jenny. Very cool. It's going to play through the playlist, and if I do feel like skipping one, it's a very quick fix. And again, that only happens if it's playing. It's not going to stop a song, which is very smart. It's not going to just automatically stop a song from playing while you're in the middle of it, which is great. And the thing I also like about this is the way that you get out of this. You see at the top, it says tap to close. So I can go back to here to playlist. But the thing that's great is that it has this menu here on the side where I can see the playlist. So I can see songs up here. I can see the playlist right here. You know, I have a couple more controls down here, which I'll show you in a minute. But I have access to the playlist right here, which is great. I can turn on autoplay, which means that it'll just automatically play all the way through this. So as soon as, let's put this at the very end. As soon as it's done, it'll start the next song right away, which is great. A couple more controls for playlist. You do have the playlist volume if you do want it to be different. I don't really mess with that. You can change the color of it. So you can put it as yellow. So now this one is a different color. You have this one if you want to add tags to it. So these are keywords that I already have saved. So for the playlist, I can say I'm going to add, this is a Scott solo playlist, or this is a 90s playlist and stuff like that. You have this button right here, which I love, sort like A to Z, which is really nice, or, or backwards, or my favorite one is shuffle, where it's just like, I don't know what to play. Let's just have a computer decide what to do. That's really cool. And then of course you can share this if you want to airdrop it to another band member. You won't need to do that necessarily because I'll show you how to host a session here in a little bit, but it's really cool what this app can do. So a couple more things that you get. So obviously, you know how to rearrange. I'm going to turn autoplay off. If you want, you can swipe over and you can delete a song. You can set autoplay right here. So you see that little arrow that showed up here on the right. So that means when 24 Karat Magic is over, it will go into 3 a.m., which can be really nice. So you don't have to put autoplay on for all of them. Let's say I'm going to play these 3 songs and then I'm going to talk or change guitars before I go into Jenny. So it'll play through these songs and then it'll stop. And then I'll do whatever I need to do, tune, change guitars, talk to the audience, whatever. And then when I'm ready to start Jenny, I would push play, Jenny, which is really cool. You do also get repeat song. I don't really know why you would do that, but that is an option. But you get definitely a lot of control over this. Very, very cool. One more thing I can show you is if you go to the songs, if you click on the I button right here, if you want to add it to multiple playlists, you can just go to the song, click playlist, and I can say I want to add it to all of these. I obviously don't. I just want it in Scott solo. So that's another way that you can edit playlists. But that is the playlists. Extremely helpful for organizing your show. Okay, now going back to lyrics. There's so many things that you can do in here with lyrics. You can auto scroll, you can add chords which are able to be transposed, and you can even highlight the lyrics as it's going through. Really cool. So, so what I can do is I can put this at the very top. So this song is G. So I'm going to put in the chords. I'm going to do this off screen. So you can see I have the chords here at the top. And you can see that it automatically figured out chords and it made it into this green, which is really nice. The other thing that's cool about this, so you have this little bracket button up here, so you can click that and it puts a couple of brackets and it puts your cursor in between it, which is great. So let's do G, and you can see that's automatically put it as a chord. So it switches on the word water. So that's where it goes to G over F. And then it's kind of like over here. So you had 9. So I'm going to save that. So now, doing that method, it's really cool because it'll space it correctly where you need to. Very, very cool. And now the thing that's awesome about this is you can push this button over here and you can say, oh, it actually says the transpose is disabled. I actually need to turn that on in settings. Go back to settings, lyrics and PDF, transposed chords, and enable that. So what I can do now is I can go here. So if I go up by, a whole step, it changes the chords. Drop it down by a whole step and it'll do the same thing. Double tap to reset it. And the thing that's cool though, if I change the pitch of the song, it'll automatically do that as well. If you don't want that to happen, you would just disable that menu that we just turned on in the settings menu. Another thing you can do is if you push hash and space, it draws a larger one. So I can say chorus here, and this I can do verse 2. So that can be nice to have, bigger text to see where you are in the song. Okay, so auto scrolling. Make sure that auto scroll lyrics is enabled. So the easiest way to do this is to just set it down here where it says scroll speed. You can see when I push play. December. So when I, I'm going to fast forward. So when I'm here, and basically what you would want to do is you would want to get it set. But when I'm here, just kind of scroll through and make sure that you're in the right spot. Or when you put it at the end, you can say, well, the speed was too slow or it was too fast. So I can, subtract it and then it doesn't go as fast. That's okay. And that's a quick method for it, but there's a much more accurate way to do that. This is awesome. This is really cool. So you're going to go back to your lyrics. See this little time button right here? So what you're going to do is you're going to play the track. And whenever you want it to highlight the lyric, you just push this button over here. So when it gets to the verse, vocals in, ready, sing. Why drink the water from my hand, contagious as you think I am. Just till my son. right? And then watch.
Chorus, ready, go.
So I'm just going to get through there. So you can see the idea, right? Those vocals that you hear, those are actually just cues that I give to my ear just because I always forget how this song starts. Is it why drink, just tilt, and then verse 2, why follow, don't throw. I screw those up every time. So I have just little cues in my ear to help me remember in case if I forget, because I'm not always looking at my lyrics. So what it's going to do at 19 seconds in, it's going to highlight this line. On the next one at 25 seconds in, it's going to highlight this line. Really cool. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to add another one down here and you'll see why in a minute. Now watch what happens. So again, you just listen to the song and then just hit that timer button and watch what happens now.
December,
so let's fast forward.
Vocals in, ready, sing.
Why drink the water?
Pretty awesome, right? It's following along with the song exactly where it's at. So I screwed up the time on that one a little bit, but you can see it's following along and it's highlighting where you're at. It does make the mistake of like highlighting the chorus if you do end up using that. So make sure you don't do that.
Chorus, ready, go.
But you see how I have it so that it highlights, an entire section of the song. So when I get to here in the song, it highlights the chorus. So you know where I'm at. But you can see when it got to the chorus, did you see how it scrolled down a little bit? Let me go back up to the verse. So let me scroll up. Watch what happens when you get to the chorus. It scrolls just a little bit by itself. So it's automatically scrolling for you. That's the more accurate way to do that. So it'll highlight the lyrics for you and it'll auto scroll for you. So it's always on the page. You never have to scroll. Isn't that cool? I mean, it's really time consuming, but once it's done, it's super helpful. So again, I use PDFs, which I'll show you here in a minute, but if you do use this lyric method, you can highlight sections of a song or individual lyrics if you want. You never can lose your spot. Pretty cool. So that's basically it for lyrics. So now I'm going to go back to the PDF. So now you can see that it prioritizes the PDF. However, you can still scroll with PDFs. So now I have a PDF loaded up. How do I do auto scrolling with here? Well, you still do that in the lyrics section. So I'm going to go into lyrics and I'm just actually going to just delete all of this. So there's nothing in here because obviously I don't need that. Now here's what you want to do is you're going to put in the brackets, and this is the code that you have to put in here. You're going to say PDF at, and you're going to say how many minutes, 0 minutes, colon, 5 seconds, dot, and I can say how many milliseconds. I'm just going to say 0 for right now. I'm going to do a colon, space, and then I'm going to say page 2. That's the code that you use for this. So I'm going to do another one. So it's PDF at how many minutes, colon, how many seconds, dot, how many milliseconds. So I can say 35 milliseconds. Colon will end the command. So you're going to say on the PDF, at this point, I want you to change to, you can do page or you can just do P. And I'm going to say 2.5. You can go up to, 2.9 or, divide it up however you want. So watch what happens now. So I'm going to hit save on that. Again, that's all in the lyrics section. I'm still going to use a PDF though. So watch what happens. Start the song from the beginning.
December.
And about 5 seconds in, you can see the timer up here. Watch what happens at 5 seconds. It scrolls down to the second page, and at 7 seconds, it's going to scroll down to 2.5. Pretty cool. Isn't that awesome? And yes, my PDF got all screwed up here, so that's something I'll have to fix in PDF, but that's not something that Stage Traxx is doing. So you see how you can still scroll with PDFs? That's pretty awesome. So you can scroll with the lyrics, or you can scroll with PDF. Pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is cue mode. So, if you have a playlist and you're going to stick to your playlist, you're just always going to be with it. I mean, you might, like I showed you how you can skip a song. However, cue mode is really cool. So you're going to go to settings and you're going to go to cue and you can say show cue tab or advanced cue mode. So I'm going to put on advanced cue mode. It just makes things easier. So this is one of my playlists that I've made, but I'm going to say we're going to start with Africa. And then we're going to play 1979, then All Star, then All the Small Things, then Chicken Fried, and then Call Me Maybe, a great 90s tune. Those load them up into the queue here. Let's do Don't Look Back in Anger, Danger Zone, Down. It doesn't matter. I'm loading all these up. So you can see they're being loaded up right here. This is really nice because my 90s cover band, we have 200 songs and we take requests from the audience. So people choose what song they want to hear. So we never really go in with a set in mind, but normally we play 3 or 4 hours a night and we kind of just feel out the crowd. So with the band I play with my wife, we often read the crowd. So we'll go in with a set list, but as we're playing, we'll realize, oh, they don't really want to hear this new pop stuff. They're not responding to Bruno Mars. They like more of the 80s. We'll go in there and I'll say, okay, well, let's add Don't Stop Believing in. Let's add Kiss and Let's Go Crazy and stuff like that. The 80s are going over really well, so I'm going to add those into there. So if you're going to change the show on the fly, this is extremely helpful. And this is the way that I use it. Like I said, we have 200 songs and we do song requests. As this show is playing,
Africa.
1979, let's say it's not going to go over well. So what I can do is I double tap Chicken Fried, and now that song is going to be next. And then after that, I want to do Danger Zone. I'm going to move it up. But then I'm like, 1979 is not going to go over well, so I'm going to delete that. So I can reorganize all this stuff on the fly and, feel out the crowd a bit more, which is incredibly valuable. And this is the main way that I use it. So again, to turn that on, just go to your settings, and then you can say just show Q tab. I just have the advanced Q mode on because you can do a double tap. So you can see if I tried to add linger, it's not going to do anything. I have to double tap it, and then it'll say it added to the bottom of the queue. And you can also say, do you want to add it to the top? So you want to put it as the next song, or you just want to start stacking them up. Both of them can be valuable. If we get like a really high tip for a song, having it on top can be valuable, but most of the time I leave it on bottom. Very, very valuable. Again, if you stick pretty strictly with the set list, probably just using a playlist is the way to go for you. Okay, and then before we wrap up, let's just go over a few general settings that you should know. So again, you should go down to your settings button down here in order to go through some of the settings. Some of these are definitely going to be very valuable. So you can set your master volume here. You also get that with, your volume control on the side of your iPad. You have a master equalizer here. So I personally leave that off. You can set fades for songs as a whole. So go into the fade settings. So when you hit play, it fades in for, a second and a half, and it fades out for 2.5 seconds. I personally prefer control over that in each individual song. And then you can also transition, out and in. Again, that's something not for me, but these options are here. Okay, some of the playback settings. So you can set a start delay, which can be nice if you need to push play and then you need a second to grab a pick or something like that. I personally just have it off though. Double tap to start. So if I just hit the start button once, you can see it didn't trigger. I have to hit it twice in order for it to start. So that's an option. I personally like it on just once. Stop mode button. So when I hit stop, do I want it to just pause where it's at? So watch.
Africa.
So when I hit pause, it stops right there. And then I hit play and it'll go continue from where it's at. If I hit rewind, when I stop, it just stops the song and puts it right back to the beginning. That's the way that I like it personally. You can also have it just automatically go to the next song when you stop. It's up to you. I did set on double tap to stop, but I have found that I've accidentally, when I tried to click this song right here, I accidentally hit the button once, and that was the end of it. I was like, okay, well, I'm setting that to double tap to stop. So that's why I like to do that. Stop at the end of a playlist. I obviously don't want it to repeat. Wave seek during playback. This is another one. While it's playing,
Africa.
I can scroll through here, right?
Chorus.
That is another thing that I have also learned to disable. I have it enabled for this tutorial. But while I'm performing live, I've accidentally tried to click up here because I had to play guitar and do some of this live. So I accidentally hit it. So the song was right here and I went to click right here, but it accidentally put the playhead back here. So yeah, so I like to have that off. But for this demo, I'm going to leave it on because I will need to show you some things. Master tuning changes the pitches of all songs. I don't think you would need to do that. MIDI stuff I'll get into later. And then you can choose your sample rate and your buffer size. So if you are getting clicks and pops, up your buffer size if you need to. So the user interface. So you have, light mode or dark mode. I obviously like dark mode. You can do color settings. So these are the different colors based on these things. So the next song color marker, the current song color marker, chord highlighted color, the chord color. So you can change all of these just as a whole, which is nice to customize it how you want it to look. Clock mode is really cool. So what do you want to see up here? So I have it set to clock. While I was putting this video together, I found out about another one because I was like, well, the clock actually just says right up here what time it is. So if I do estimated Q end, this is actually really cool. It'll tell me that if I play through all of these songs, will stop at 9:36. That's really cool because if I know that, hey, we need to play till 10 and then take a 15-minute break, that means I need to add 24 more minutes of material. That's actually really cool, and I didn't know that. And as I was, researching this video, I realized that's a pretty cool feature, and I'm actually going to be using that. You do have song timer as well, which is just how much is left with the song, if you would prefer to know that, and session timer, which will just track how long you're playing. I have changed it to Q end, which is pretty sweet. And this hide song list in playback, this can be valuable. So see how this column here on the left, when I hit play,
Africa,
it goes away,
all
but then I can
in,
still
ready,
bring it back
go.
out if I want to. But just when I hit play,
Africa,
it goes away. I personally have that off, but it might be nice. The assignable buttons are what you want to be down here in the bottom left. So I have this set to scroll. You can just like tap over here on the right in order to scroll and tap on the left in order to scroll up. Or of course, you can also just use your hand to scroll. The one that I actually use is the next audio region and loop audio region. And that is something I'm going to be going over in the second video. Show the next song title. I don't know why you would not want that enabled. So, it'll say Chicken Fried is the next song here at the top. I think that's really helpful. So allow song editing. So if you turn that off, this is such a small change, but you see how the I is no longer available over here on the side. So you can see more of the name of the song. But now if I click it, now I have I. It can be nice. It's a small change. I might actually, just leave that off because it does make it a little bit easier to see what songs are coming up next. Playlist, you can add songs on top or bottom. You can see song numbers if you want. I personally don't like that, but you can do that. Disable screen lock, I turn that on immediately. Drag and drop sorting, you probably want that on. And showing done marker, I don't really like that. It just tells you when a song is done. I've just left that off. Okay, scrolling down. So this next part, this is awesome. Host a session. So when I host a session, now what everyone else will do is they're going to go to join session. And so obviously it's not going to let me do that while I'm hosting a session. We hit join session. Let me just turn one on my phone. I'm just going to enable one on my phone. So it'll see on my iPhone. Now when I click that, this is what I have queued up on my phone right now. Let me just add a couple other ones in here. Oh my God, what is it doing? I don't know. It added just a bunch of songs over here. This is what all my other bandmates are going to see. Now they can't, they can scroll through, but they cannot, change, when a song is starting. They can see what's coming up next and they can scroll on their own. So this is amazing. I really love this about this app because my bandmates know what song is coming up next. My wife really loves it because she doesn't have to create a set list for every show now. I just create it and then she just joins the session and it's ready to go. I love that. That's incredibly valuable. You can say show local lyrics or send PDF documents. I have the PDF documents on so that they all see the charts that are on my iPad. This remote control stuff, that is MIDI stuff that I'll get to in the next video. You can create and restore a backup, which is awesome. And then my bandmates can actually load it up as well, which is pretty cool. You do purchase the app here. It's like 20 bucks. It's 100% worth it. Without purchasing it, you only get a number of limited songs. You can't do backups or restore from backups, and you can't host a session. It's 100% worth it. This app is so awesome. All the stuff that it does, definitely worth it. Those are most of the settings that you will need to know for using this app in the basic ways that I went over. Okay, so that is part one of Stage Traxx 3. So that is seriously just the basics of what this app can do. And in part two, I'm going to go over how to do multi-track backing tracks, so multiple outputs for each individual instrument. And I'm also going to show you how to loop different sections so you don't have to stay on the exact structure of the backing track. In part three, I'm going to go over MIDI. So be sure to subscribe and be sure to ring that bell to be notified when those videos come out. And again, once they do come out, I will post them down in the description and as a pinned comment. But like I said, one of my subscribers will be winning the full version of Stage Traxx 3 with everything unlocked. All you have to do to enter is one, you have to be a subscriber because it's only for subscribers. And two, just leave a comment down below. Any comment down below saying whatever you want will be entered to win the contest. I will be doing the drawing after the end of all three videos, so if you leave a comment on each video, you triple your chances to win. So be sure to come back for the videos next week. So that's basically it. I hope it helped you guys out. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you made it to the end of this video. This video series took a long time to put together. Hitting the thumbs up button is a free way to support the channel, feed the YouTube algorithm, and recommend it to more people, so I would appreciate it. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos by clicking the links on your screen now. If part 2 and part 3 are out, I will post them on the end cards that you can see on your screen right now as well. But be sure to check the description in the pinned comment. Don't forget to follow me on my social media pages at Scott Ewell Music on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.